Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Danielle and I'm from Kitties Reading, so welcome or welcome back. Today's pick a card is for the follow-up of October 2025 themes, but as always, all pick a card readings are timeless and you just sort of happen upon them whenever you're supposed to. So that being said, the three piles we have, you can choose either with the crystal or with the card on top. So we have for pile 1, the Angel Aura, Quartz. And the card for it is Pearl. Option number 2, maybe I'll leave that up. There you go. Option number 2 is the Seashell. And its card of choice is Cyan, if I'm saying that right. And lastly, pile 3 is the Smokey Quartz cluster. And its card of choice is Apricot. Rejoice and laugh. Awesome. So if you have never done a pick a card reading before, I'll give you a little explanation now. What we do essentially is take a second to get a little more relaxed, a little more calm and centered in our bodies. The reason why we do this is that we always want to be choosing a pile or a deck from our highest place, so our most centered place. So sometimes we can be stressed, we can be a little in our heads from the day, so we just like to close our eyes, take a deep breath in down through the nose, out through the mouth, doing that a couple of times. Checking in with yourself, you might feel how your feet are feeling on the floor, feeling into your body, getting more present, getting more embodied, quite literally, versus in the mind. And then if your eyes are closed, asking yourself before you open them, do one of these piles have a message for me? And then upon opening your eyes, just see if you're drawn to one of the cards, one of the options. So maybe it's the crystal, the seashell, the cluster. And it can be the shape, it can be the color, it can be the imagery, it could be the words, it could be the numbers. There's no wrong or right way to choose. It's just whatever you're feeling intuitively called to. So that's why it's really important to take the second to ground with yourself so that you can hear that intuition with the most ease. And then some people like to choose by the numbers attached to the piles. So that would be by going to the description box below, and then you'll see like pile 1, 2, and 3, and there'll be a timestamp next to them. There might be a number that stands out to you or a number you've been seeing often. And you can choose by doing it that way. So there's really no wrong or right way. If you get into the pile and you're like, this just doesn't really like hit for me, then don't feel like you need to make it fit. Go ahead and choose another pile. And sometimes you might even want to choose a different card reading. That's totally okay. Don't make the messages have to fit. Just trust your guidance, trust your gut, and know that these are collective readings. So they are meant for a group of people, not you specifically, just alone. So there might be some messages for you and some for someone else. All right, so that being said, I'm gonna let you choose your piles now, and I hope to see you in your card readings. Hello, pile 1s. So you chose this Aura Quartz, or Angel Aura Quartz is what it's called, kind of a long name. I'm just gonna put it right over there. And then we're just gonna pull some cards for your month ahead. How can you stay the most balanced and aligned this month? How can you stay the most balanced and aligned, pile 1s? All in love and light for highest good, as always. We have Connect to the Divine. Green, revitalize your nervous system. Indigo, improve your vision. And lastly, Coral, allow flow and synchronicity into your life. Okay, wow, you kind of have a little good variety here. Ultimately, what I see the month ahead for you is a little bit of a reset and refocus. Connect to the divine. This can mean that you maybe had a month where You might have taken on a lot of responsibilities. You might have just, sometimes we just have a bit of a hard month. So I'm wondering if this pile, whenever you're seeing this, if you've sort of been more in that energy of having to constantly find a solution to a problem, kind of wishing that there was a way for your problems to get easier or get resolved, but they're not really having been a way. And whenever I see connect to the divine is like recognizing that there's only so much you can do before you do have to kind of just leave it up to whatever is going to happen. And just to give a little bit more clarity on what I mean here is, for example, say you're like planning an event. It could be a family get together, or it could be like a work proposal. You can be as set up and as ready to go as possible. You can try to plan for any questions or anything that could go wrong. Keep like if it's a family thing, maybe you're going to try to have activities for kids who might be attending. But at the end of the day, you don't know how people are going to be feeling when they come into that environment or go to that event. And you can only control so much. So it's like, all right, you've done your due diligence, and trusting in that sort of higher power, that higher force, that whatever you believe in is also going to have some sort of, I want to say fate here. I'm trying to be cautious because I feel like this pile, if you chose this pile, I feel like you're someone who doesn't like to leave it up to fate. Like, I actually think that might be something you say. Like, I don't want to leave it up to fate. I want to be a little bit in control. I want to do what I can to have the best result, essentially. But I just feel like ultimately, if you also are watching a card reading, there must be something you believe in about it, whether it is just a law of attraction thing or a law of cause and effect, or you do believe in sort of, I don't know, I don't want to say destiny or fate. I just feel like energy, and that sometimes people pick up on vibes, and sometimes things work out, and sometimes there's this magic that we can't really explain that just comes up with the solution to the problem, and it's exactly what we needed when we needed it. It's funny. I feel like I'm trying to explain a collective's belief on this, and everyone feels a little bit different, which might be why I'm having a hard time finding a way to describe this and feel like I'm accommodating everyone's belief systems. But ultimately, you know what you believe in. And when I see connect to the divine, it's like, ultimately, remember that there's only so much you can do, and leave room for that magic to happen, that good thing just to come out of nowhere, that beautiful surprise, a miracle in some ways. And Angel Aura Quartz is kind of all about calling in higher help, knowing you're not in it alone, allowing sort of for that magic. So it seems like a pretty important message of all the cards you're having here, because like I said, your stone that you chose by kind of symbolizes this connection, this higher connection that, although we may not fully understand it, helps bring in a little bit of magic or miracles that we're needing. So yeah, don't feel like, it's almost like not putting so much weight on your own shoulders, and understanding that there is just a divine force of some sort that comes in and helps you right when you need it. Somehow the right person will be there and you'll have the right conversation. Or maybe someone else is going to the family event, if it is a family event, will have also thought of some things to do to keep, say, children distracted, or stop kids from having tantrums, or to keep challenging people calm. Yeah. Anyways, green, revitalize your nervous system. So I just kind of love this. It's just saying you might just need a little bit of healing. And when I say healing, I mean you might literally have been pretty stressed out. I keep kind of getting that. I just feel like this pile's taken on so much responsibility or so much stress for things in their life. Once again, I can't tell if it's family related, work related, or maybe a little bit of everything, but I wonder if just everything kind of hit you pretty hard and you're I just feel so behind, or I feel like there's so much I need to do or prepare for. And it's just, I really feel like this is saying it's really important for you to kind of get some of that stress off of your body. This is a very physical health related card. So if you're I'm not that stressed, that's great. But it would appear that your body is saying that it is feeling like it's been under stress. So it might not be sleeping as good. Maybe you've been going out for drinks a lot more than normal and your sleep is kind of not as good. Maybe you haven't had time to make the types of meals you like to have that make you feel good. It can be anything really when it comes to the physical body that's just creating more stress and causing it to have a harder time to kind of go into that parasympathetic state overnight and like rest, digest, rejuvenate, restore. And I feel like that's essentially what this is wanting more of. So you might want to make an intention to maybe, if you go out for dinner, maybe not to have a drink in the evening or something like that. Or if you are doing lots right now, maybe have a time where you're like, all right, I'm just going to try to be in bed by this time and I'm just going to prioritize getting more sleep. Or I've been really wanting to get back into my meditation routine, or I usually go to a yoga class or a breathwork class, or I go to the gym usually at this time every day, and I haven't been over the summer because it's been busy. It's like coming back to that physical self-care routine. Especially when it comes up with the pearl. So pearl, like anytime you see white in card readings, it usually talks about just generally needing a bit of a detox. And since it's come out right next to the physical body, I just feel like this is really good time for this pile to get very honest with themselves about where have you been maybe cutting corners and taking care of your physical health. So I know I keep saying that, but it's interesting with this pile. I feel like reluctance. Like I feel like I'm trying to convince you it's important to take care of your physical body. So I'm not sure where I'm getting that from, or if it could just honestly be one person who's watching who kind of has a resistance to prioritizing their physical health. Or maybe just feels annoying to someone and I'm just picking up on that energy. Or it could even be the annoyance of like, you don't have time to. And so you're like, well, what good is this advice for me if I don't really have time to prioritize it? So you know what? I'm just going to say that because I'm feeling a bit of a guard coming through for people here. So as always, you just take messages as they resonate, or yeah, if they don't, that's also okay. You don't have to make them fit, but that's what I'm seeing for this is just getting back to your best physical feeling self. And then coral, allow flow and synchronicity into your life. I love this because this is kind of going back to this pearl thing where it's like, I'm just so sorry. I'm not sure how long you've been in this state or if it's just been a rough week or a rough month, but it just feels like honestly so much stress has been put on your shoulders. And I'm not sure if it's from other people or from yourself. But like, once again, you have another card saying like, you know, it's so important for you to find your bit of happiness again, like your play, your like when you wake up, if you're waking up in the morning and you're like, I don't really want to start today. Like, I just don't even want to get out of bed. Like, I just like, why? What is the point? It's so stressful. I feel like I'm getting nothing done. I'm not making a difference. Like, I feel like it's like that kind of energy where it's like, I'm just having a hard time getting up. Like, I can't find my why I want to get up and embrace the day. So this here is really talking about just finding a way to, de-burden yourself a little bit, to maybe even start with a little more of that self-care. Oh, I don't know. You know what, this pile's like one of those piles where you kind of want to like cry a little bit for somebody because you're like, oh my gosh, how did you get here? How did you get to like this, so much responsibility, so much like I don't know, I just keep getting that, so much weight. But then I feel like you're very highly functional people because then I feel like you still get up and instead of maybe enjoying the day, now you're maybe just a bit disassociating from the day. Like you're like, I just have to do this. I just have to get through it. And eventually there's going to be an end. But the guidance for you is instead of that, where can you let less, like, I know how to explain this because I feel like this pile's like, well, if I don't do it, like who's going to do it? It's like, how can you take away some of that responsibility? So it comes back to that first analogy I said, where it's like, you've done all that you can, and there's a point where you have to like surrender some of the weight of it, where you're like, okay, I've done my due diligence. I've planned for what I can, and any more stress and worry around this is actually kind of to my detriment. Like, no matter my stress that I take on for this or my worry that I put out there for this, it's not going to change the results. So ultimately, I just got to let it go. And I know that can be easier said than done, but it is saying like finding moments of joy. So like capping, once again, I keep repeating the same message, but it's coming through in different ways where it's like, find an activity that brings you joy. Or if there's a person that brings joy to you, like maybe being like, all right, I'm going to do what I can. But at this time, this is when I surrender to being as productive as I'm going to be today. And I am going to go do that thing that actually re-energizes me and refuels me. Like, I feel like you need some more things that are filling your cup of joy so that you're not just so depleted. So you're not feeling so drained. Because orange is like the sacral chakra. It's all about that joy. Where's your passion right now? Where's your heart want to be? Where do you want to be? And I feel like maybe you've been denying yourself some of that because you've been trying to like stay ahead of this weight, whatever this weight is, this responsibility. So honestly, some of you could even be getting married or something, or have a relative that's getting married and you're just like planning all this stuff out, or there could be like a huge change. Like maybe you're literally moving. It is that time of year where a lot of people have to move rentals, go to different school locations, like things like that. And I feel that like that's like the kind of weight this is. It's like just like those things that have a lot of weight and responsibility on us hitting us hard right now. That's the vibe I'm getting. So anyways, purple, indigo, improve your vision. So this card comes up when it's saying we're not seeing things clearly. It could be that we're not seeing an obvious way to make our lives easier. Indigo, I honestly see this one as more as a purple on this card, not a blue, but it just makes me think that there is like some things you're not seeing clearly. So there could be some help out there that you're not seeing clearly. There could be some obvious ways to change up your schedule or your day-to-day itinerary so that it is more honoring to you. I kind of want to pull some more guidance cards around that one. Yeah, okay, so like, it's interesting. So it is tied to the crown chakra. Okay, because I was like, this feels very third eye, but I'm getting more crown chakra energy around it than normal. And then we have purple, developmental clarity. So it is saying, like, I think you're just so tired and you've been staring at something for too long that I feel like it's so hard for you to see the obvious solution. I don't know if this pile has ever built a puzzle. I know this is it's going to seem super random analogy, but I was doing that the other day. I haven't done it probably in years. And you get to a point where you're too close to it for too long. And you go from like finding like, say, 5 pieces that fit in 5 minutes to you're finding 1 piece that can fit a piece in 20. But if you stand up, you walk away, you close your eyes, you open them a few times, and then you come back, you can just put a bunch of pieces together. And it's crazy. The one thing you did was walk away and come back. It's like you needed that break to see the obvious thing that you've been looking too hard at. You got too close, you got too into the puzzle that you couldn't like actually see the whole thing that clearly anymore. So I don't know, kind of get that. Like maybe it's a great reminder for this pile that you do need to take breaks. So that you can come back and get more done. Like essentially you know what this makes me think of? Okay, my boyfriend is always telling me there's 16 hours. I'm actually gonna laugh if he watches this part of the video. Sometimes he does that. Okay, anyways, back to you viewers and friends. So there's 16 hours of productivity in a day. Or potential productive hours in a day. And if you choose only 8 hours to give it your best productivity for work, and then you know you have 8 hours just to like live your life, somehow that can help. Like you get into it, you're like, it's half my day. But if I focus now and I stay focused, then it is going to stay only half my day and it's not going to leak into any more of it. And I feel like this pile could maybe use that. Like, maybe you feel like you should be working all 16 hours or all 14 hours out of 16 of those possible productive hours, but it's actually starting to make you less productive because you're so tired and your joy is just fizzling out and you're just like, why am I even here? Why am I a human in this life? All I do is work. And it might be a good idea to like choose the 8 hours. Maybe it's like early morning, maybe it's evening, but choose those 8 hours where you are like, this is what I do, but the other 8 hours are for me. So it could be 4 in the morning that you get off, and then 4 in the evening you get off, but you get to choose. You get to choose. Anyways, definitely a like step away to see things clearly. I'm gonna pull one more card just for clarity around, I feel like this is like I really am kind of thinking it's work, or like there could be like a issue with a family member or something you're working and looking at, and it's always affecting you and looking very, very hard at. So we have nourish your body and soul, chocolate. So if any of you have ever been to one of my sound baths, which probably isn't too many people here because I think most people are from the US, but I always give out dark chocolate after a sound bath because it's a heart opener and it regrounds us and it reminds us that we're in a body. We're in a body, we're a soul in a body. And when I see this card, it just kind of comes back to that. Did you forget you're a soul in a body and your body has needs? And your body has things it needs to be taken care of, and sometimes things just for joy, like, do people actually eat chocolate after a sound bath? No, they don't. But it's something I'm always going to do because it's just something for joy, and it's something to get people back in the body in a joyful way. And I don't know why I'm talking about that, but maybe there's some things where you're like, it's not essential, but I just like it. Like some people are like, I really, really love, I don't know, we'll say vanilla lattes. There's a great basic one for you. But some people do. People love vanilla lattes. And some people are like, I would even get a decaf vanilla latte because I just love them. Like, I just love the experience. It's what I do for myself. I get like a special treat. It's something I love. And I'm not trying to say you should have a caffeine addiction or something like that, but some things we just do for love and for joy, and it outweighs any of the consequences that other people might say. Like, I'm sure some people would be like, there's too much sugar in a vanilla latte. And someone might get really hung up on that. But if it was a thing you loved the most, it doesn't really matter because it brings so much more joy than that sugar is bringing negativity. Like the plus vibes to the negative vibes are just so off the charts. I don't know. Maybe that was too like of a what's controversial topic, because I've come to realize in this world of card readings and stuff, there are people who are very strict on dietary rules. But yeah, that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. There's a lot of opinionated people in the world, and there's a lot of opinionated people in any sort of belief system. So anyways, life, we all got opinions. So I don't know why I'm talking about that. I want to pull some more cards. Also, I'm just admiring at how pretty these cards are. I don't know if you, the viewer, actually looked at the cards, but maybe it's just because like I got my amethyst here and the lighting, it's daylight right now, so it's actually like looking very nice and bright, and it's just popping with your cards that are also purple. I don't know. It's just visually very appealing right now. So you might be someone who just enjoys visual appeal. I'm not sure. Maybe you like artsy things or colors or lighting schemes or pretty things. But anyways, let's just ask for some further clarity on like guidance and suggestions for you for this month. Solar plexus. Okay. Past life issues. Okay. So anytime I see this past life card, it is an old card deck. I actually see it as, to me, when I pull this card, a sign that this is a pattern of your past. So it's something that you've kind of gone into maybe since you can remember, or it also can mean that there's like something that was formed in childhood that's coming up that is not serving. So solar plexus, that's kind of how we are seeing our value in our life. And sacral chakra, which is the joy. I was talking about the sacral already so much. So how I'm seeing this here, it's like ultimately they're saying the biggest biggest roadblock that I feel like you're facing right now is this pattern of your value coming from your productivity and what you put out there, what you accomplish, your success. So it could be even like how much work you get done, how successful your work is. This is a past pattern that I imagine has been with you forever. I feel like if you're someone who vibes being a workaholic, you've been a workaholic as long as you can remember. And then before that, you might have been like really big on doing well in school or succeeding in some other way, in some other sort of industry like that. Yeah. So interesting. So ultimately it's saying like the how would I say, the limiting belief or the belief that is not true that could use some revamping, we'll say, is believing that, yeah, what you physically do affects your value, because your value is actually never in question. Your values, it's always there. You're always worthy. You're always valuable. And what you do for work, or how successful your work is, or how successful events are that you plan, it does not change your lovability, the value you have, the deservability of love that you have. So it's saying to take a check on that, like to actually check in with yourself. Like, doesn't matter what I say as the card reader, right? Like, I don't actually know you who's watching this pile. Maybe I do, but I actually don't know who's choosing this pile. So it's just like, check in with yourself, and only you are going to ever know the answer unless you share it with someone you know, is that, are you pushing yourself so hard because you're trying to prove a value, or that you are good enough, or you like to reach some sort of material goal? Like, what is the why behind that? And is there something coming up about your value attached to it? And I'm not saying I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying it's so important for you to find out that answer, because that could be something that could liberate you from some of these habits. And if it turns out that is not something you're doing, if you sit with yourself and that's like not true, then that's awesome. Now you know that too. You double checked. But I just feel like it's like talking about getting really honest with yourself to see if you can let go of some of the stress and pressure, because there might be a belief there that you have to do it, or you have to hold it all together, or it's all on you, or you have to be responsible for the success of everything, or you've got to do it all on your own. Something like that. But then sacral chakra is talking about coming into more joy. So to get to the base of what is going on in the solar plexus around your value and this heaviness that you might carry or put on yourself sometimes, so you can experience more joy. Yeah, I always get a little nervous when I say this in card readings, because I'm like, oh, someone's not going to like this. Someone is going to think I'm insulting them when I'm just actually trying to read cards. But anyways, I gotta stop being so scared about you viewers leaving mean comments, because it's life and people sometimes have like things they don't agree with me about, and that's okay. So anyways, yeah, you're preferring clairvoyance. Okay, so just ask for some more clarity here. Visualize success. Yeah, it is interesting. Everything I'm kind of getting for this pile is like, when you step away a little bit, when you remember that, like, okay, you got really into this project or thing, and you step away and you come back, it just says like this success just comes with that, because you're actually like, you got a great vision, like literally, like you can visualize, you can see the outcome, you can see how you need to get there or get something accomplished. You actually have a very good sight of that. But sometimes you get so close to it, working so hard on it, that you kind of forget the joy of it, is what I'm getting. Like, you kind of start getting really into like, what's all the things that are going to go wrong, and you kind of lose focus of like the fun reason to go into it sometimes. So once again, I can't tell if this is career, family, marriage, maybe literal wedding, or something like that. But it's like, yeah, you definitely try to do the best at everything you do. And look at that. We have release for guidance as well. Release. I feel like that once again is like that walk away briefly so that you can see things clearer. I wonder, I feel like I had a very similar energy. You might be someone who might have just have watched my self-esteem versus self-confidence reading. I think it might have been in that one. I can't remember which pile, but I feel like there's a similar message there. So if you just watch that, and you're watching this and you're just like, why does this reader keep telling me I need to walk away from things? It's I think it's just a thing right now. Like maybe you don't even realize how much stress and how much responsibility. Maybe you don't like the word stress, but maybe you don't realize how much responsibility you're putting on yourself. Because all these cards are like, it's time for you to have more fun. Let go of like having to be in control and responsible for the outcome and come back to the joy, like just the joy of things, finding the fun in it. Yeah. And like just it keeps talking about like checking in with your heart too, like coming back to that heart center, to that why are you doing this? What is the joy of this? What is the reason behind it? And I feel like you sometimes maybe get caught up in the other details. So like, for example, like maybe you're getting caught up in the like the nitty gritty details of things, like how to get funding for something or things like that. But then you kind of forgot about the actual service you're going to offer or the actual work you're doing outside of that secondary work of like getting it out there. Yeah. And then I also just love that. It's just essentially means like what you're doing, why you set out to do this is for a beautiful reason. And we were talking about that, like that kind of miracle, magical thing that happens, like whether there's like a higher power you believe in, God, the universe, law of attraction. It says like that has your back when you're in this like operating from a place of wanting to be of service, of joy, of fun and passion. I do feel like this does feel a little bit of law of attraction when you believe in what you're doing and you feel good in doing it and you're not kind of getting pinned down by the stress, then you move faster and quicker. So it's almost like to be more successful, there is a need to release the feeling that it's all on you, to release like that getting too close to the puzzle, like getting so frustrated. You need to walk away and come back so you can come back with a full cup and joy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like sometimes these can be frustrating answers to people because it's like, well, I'm trying. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. Okay, let's just see what can this pile surrender the month ahead so that they can just be more in this lighthearted energy that they keep being told to go into. So surrender to the beauty of the natural world. So that could literally mean like, I want to say like go outside and play more. Go outside and play more. I mean, you do have a lot of cards that are outdoorsy. Like you got fairies in a garden. You got this person standing in waterfalls and grass in a forest. You got this person in a field of flowers. Yeah, and this person over here was also outdoors. So there's a lot of outdoorsy things. So you might literally be someone where you're like, I feel my best when I'm outside doing the things that I love. And I would maybe take that as confirmation that that might be a place to be for you right now. Surrender to prayer. So once again, it's like surrender what you can't control and let that like law of attraction, that universe, that magical force come in and give you the miracle sometimes. Let the miracle in. We also have the habit of people pleasing. So I kind of feel like this is where it comes from. If there's like a value coming up for you where you're like, you're feeling your value is attached to your success or what you can do or how successful, say, a work is or an event is. It's like, come back to remembering that your happiness matters, your joy matters, and when you are just in this lighter energy, when you're more into the passionate why of why you're even doing all this, the work that you want to offer or the event you wanted to create, is put you in a place where you hear your intuition and you do things from that place. And I almost feel like then whatever the result is doesn't shake you so much because like whenever you see a card talking about people pleasing, it means like you could be trying so hard to do what others are wanting from you at the cost of like what you actually want. So if it's for an event, maybe you've jeopardized, or I shouldn't say jeopardized, but maybe you've like, what would be the word? Maybe you've agreed to change a lot of things to make some people happy, but it's actually not your vision anymore. It's like totally turned into someone else's. And it's like saying, hey, like, check in with yourself. You have great vision. You know what you wanted to see. You know what you wanted to create. And maybe it isn't for everyone. And that's okay, because there'll always be someone who doesn't like that idea and wants a different idea, and that's okay. And maybe that's even why earlier in this reading I was like, no, maybe I just gotta be okay with the fact that sometimes people leave mean comments and they just say things because they passionately disagree, and that's okay. Good for them for leaving a comment. It actually still helps my algorithms. Just don't like reading them. So yeah. Anyways. What did I say? Engagement or whatever? I'm not sure. Yeah. So just to sum it up here, we have surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play as a time of recreation and rejuvenation. That kind of sums up what I've been trying to say this whole reading. I guess I could have just pulled this card and you would have gotten the whole message. And then we have surrender your belief in scarcity. So the universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. I love this because it essentially kind of complements this, like, don't feel like you have to appease these people who aren't even your people, who kind of hate your vision, because they aren't your people. Those people by definition aren't your people. If they don't get your vision, they don't agree with your vision, they don't like your vision, they are not your ideal customer, your ideal person, or your ideal friend. They're not your people. So hanging on to them just recreates that belief that they're the best you can get. But when you let them go, there's more room for those people that are your people, who are going to be there, who are going to support you. So, okay. I feel like I rambled a lot. Yeah, if you felt like you didn't hear half the messages, that's okay. I think I just repeated the same one like for 30 minutes. So anyways, you got it at the end, then you got it. No need to rewatch. Cool. All right. I'm gonna leave you here. I hope you all have a great one. I forgot to mention at the start that if you didn't see the themes for October 2025, then I will leave it tagged in the description box below if you want to listen to it. I think it was a bit of a rambly recording as well. I think it was like 8 or 9 minutes. So if you're interested in that, it's there. And if not, I hope you have a good one, and maybe I'll catch you in another reading sometime. Hello, Pile 2. So you chose the Seashell here. I'll just put it right in the corner. So we're going to be looking at how can you stay the most centered and grounded in yourself for the month ahead. I have my cat Charlie over here. Okay, how can you stay the most centered and grounded in yourself the month ahead, Pile 2s? All love and light for your highest good. Emerald. Ooh, that's a beautiful color. Calm your mind, body, and soul. Very interesting. Also love that it's water, and you chose the Seashell. We have, I'm going to try to say that right, Cyan, Sign, build your confidence. We have Magenta, connect to your deepest inner knowing. Interesting. Cards are so pretty. Okay, and Vibrant, which is also very interesting. Okay, you know what? I'll do one more from here. Why not? Jade, take action. Build your confidence, connect to your deepest inner knowing. Very mysterious. Well, come here, my body and soul. What I'm kind of getting from this, okay, so if I were going to give you like a pitch, like I don't know if this pile has to go and like do some sort of big thing. I don't know if you big like a big job opportunity or something. But I almost want to like say to this pile, like, All right. Remember who you are. Remember what you know. You got this. You're ready. You've like, I don't know. I feel like this pal could be trying to get like a new job or something, or get like a new, like a collaboration or agreement or raise or something like that. Because then the next one is like, remember your like confidence. You know what? It is so funny. Okay. Just Charlie, please, please, Charlie. I didn't do the energy forecast until after I did that last reading that I would have just published, the self-esteem versus self-confidence. I had no idea, but that reading keeps coming up in these piles so far. And I wonder if there is, maybe if you felt called to that reading, or if you did see it, or okay, Charlie. Apparently he really likes seashells. I didn't know this about him. Thanks, Charlie. But anyways, I wonder if that you've been called to that reading, because this one is saying like, you need to remember that you actually do have confidence because you have a bunch of things you've been successful at. And there is like proof and evidence in the physical world that you are good at this. Whatever it is you're doing for work, for a job, you've got the skills, you got the talent, you got the wisdom. You just need to remember that and take action. So I love this. I really feel like there might have been a pile for you in that confidence reading. So anyways, maybe check it out. Maybe I'll even tag it in the description box because I mentioned it to pile 1 as well. But anyways, connect to your deepest inner knowing. So this is just, all these things are like, you already know what you need to do. You already know how to do it. You've got all the skill sets, you've got all the tools. The only thing that you need is to go and take action towards it. That is where you're being, I'm so sorry. He's so distracting, but he's so cute. Charlie, you're just so cute. Yeah. Oh, the seashell again. Maybe you need to be like Charlie and keep your eyes on the prize, because it's yours. You got this. Yeah. Okay, maybe he'll forget about it there. Probably not. Okay, so let's pull some guidance cards, because I actually was thinking this was going to be more about like self-care. I mean, there was calm your mind and body and soul and mind or whatever, but I feel like this is like, you just need to calm down. Like if you have anxiety or fears around going after something, because you've got it in the bag, you're going to be successful. You've got everything you need. You just need to take action. Like, done. Whole reading, done. We don't need to say anything else. Okay, shield yourself. So this comes up when it's like, are you nervous? Or are you picking up on other people's nervousness? Is there people in your life that are like, whoa, that's a really big offer? Are you scared? Are you stressed? And you're like, well, if you don't believe in me, it's making me feel more stressed. It's like, okay, firstly, protect your vibe in the sense of, if people have a lot of anxiety around you, make sure that you are just doing your due diligence to make sure that you are not letting it become your anxiety and your stress. You know who you are. You're strong in yourself. You know you have the experience. You know you have the wisdom. You know you have the capacity. You are you. And those people, they aren't you. And that might be why they're nervous. So just double checking that if you are experiencing anxiety and stress, is it yours or is it someone else's? And do you need to hang on to it? So I would just get very curious about that. Okay, anything else? Power animal. This is all about finding your strength and your like, I always see this as like, remembering who you are. Remember, you have what you need already. You are ready. Power animal. Find the thing that reminds you that you got this. This is in the bag. This is yours. Like you've already got it. You already got it, you know? Your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and helping you with this situation. So this also might be like a cute little card for people who are like, I've been seeing like rabbits everywhere, or I see a deer every morning. It's like, if you're seeing like the things that are signs and synchronicities for you, that things are going to go well, it's time to start trusting in them. Because this card also comes out about trusting your intuition. Yeah. And once again, it's a clearing. It's like clearing any like self-doubt or little lingering voices that are saying you might not have it. You might not get this. You might not do well. It's like, get Get rid of that, because actually, you know what you're doing. You've got this. You just need to take action, be confident in yourself, confident in the wisdom and your accomplishments, because I feel like this pile is actually quite accomplished. It's so interesting. This is like what's coming ahead of you. And I don't know why I keep trying to say, go after your dreams, go after this raise, go after this job opportunity, get after it. You've got this. You're so capable. We have integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowingness of what's right for you. So I love this. So it means if you're not going after something, this is usually because you're doubting yourself. Like integrity, this is like your heart knows what you need to do. Your heart knows where it wants to go and where its dreams are, like where you dream to be, what you dream to offer. And it's saying that your action, I think this is because of fear, is not going after that, is not getting after that. And it's like connecting with those dreams of yours, that heart of yours, and taking action. You need to take action this month. I'm going to keep saying that because this isn't like take action in the future. It's like take action now. Build your confidence because it should be bigger than it is. Your ego should be bigger than it is. You're so much better at the thing you're doing than you think you are. And you're not seeing yourself clearly. You're seeing other people's fears. Once again, this is so funny. So mediumship. When I get this card in this deck, to me, this means our communication with ourselves. We are not communicating clearly with ourselves, which is interesting because look at that. This card, the person's hand is on their heart. It means they're not listening to what their heart is telling them. This is where you should go. This is where you should be. This is what we need to be doing. It's so interesting that you have so many cards saying that. You're doubting yourself. You're doubting your own power. You're doubting your own capacity to do things. And it's just not doing you a service because I don't know what you do for work, pile twos, but I know you're good at it. And I know people tell you you're good at it, but you got some fear and you're not seeing yourself clearly. You're not as confident as you should be in yourself. And you should be confident in yourself. That's what I'm going to say there. Yeah, look at that. Visualize success. Like, yeah, I think there's a part of you that might be paying more attention to what if it fails versus like, what if I actually succeed? And I mean, all your cards are coming out that you got all the skill sets for it. So I wonder why you think you're not going to be successful at it. You've got the experience, you got the knowing, you actually do have the confidence to some degree. Like it should be there. There's like some doubt or fear that's coming up that's kind of blocking you. But I think normally you are confident in yourself because you actually do know what you know. You know what you know. You know what you're doing. We also have heart chakra. So connecting with your heart, connecting with your why, that integrity, follow that passion. This is like, there's like a dream of yours to go and work somewhere and you're denying yourself that. Yeah. And you know what's also interesting? So my one friend, whenever she sees a seashell, like will do that thing where she tries to listen to it. And I wonder if it's literally coming through as like, I just keep hearing, can you hear the ocean? Like, can you hear, what is it trying to tell you? And I feel like you're not quite hearing what your heart is trying to tell you. And for some of you are like, well, I know what I want to be doing. I know what my dream is, but I'm just not sure if I can do it. And and that's the problem. All the ends are the problem, like the ANDs, where it's like, and what about this? And what about that though? And it's just like, actually, you're ready. You are so ready to get after it. Throat chakra. Yes. This is definitely about you communicating with yourself. I'm going to say that because everything here is like you are not hearing or seeing or saying things clearly to yourself. Like there's parts of you at odds with each other. The part of you that's so called to go and do this thing that you are actually quite ready for. And then there's this parts of you that is like, well, what if it doesn't work? And it's like honestly just a genuine fear. Like the fear of maybe being seen is a really big one. The fear of failing, possibly. The fear of both, of failing and being seen and vulnerable and then failing, and that's maybe seeing too vulnerable. But I just feel like, yeah, there's definitely odds within self around pursuing this thing, this passion, this thing that you're quite ready for. It feels very next steppy. Like, Yeah, like emerald. Emerald is so valuable and so expensive. Maybe you don't know your worth. Maybe you don't know your worth. You don't know how much of service you're going to be, because as soon as I see green, like I always see that as like people who can offer so much compassion, love, and healing to people, and maybe they're just not seeing their value there. Okay, anything else for this pile? You are a powerful light worker. That's a great card. After I was just saying, like, maybe what you're doing is actually going to heal and help a lot of people. And maybe if you get connected to your heart, you'll remember that, and that will help you get over the fear of being seen, of vocalizing, of saying things. But it says, it is safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings great blessings and loving service to the divine. Yeah, it's okay for you to be powerful. I actually really like that phrasing for this pile. It's okay for you to be powerful. It's okay for you to be seen. It's okay for you to be heard. You're safe. It's going to be safe. You bring great blessings. What you need to do and what you have to share is so impactful. And look at that. I also love this. If you get nervous, focus on service. So this often talks about like, dude, you need to put something out there that you're not putting out there. I'm sorry. I feel like for this pile, I'm like getting very firm and I'm so sorry, but I'm suspicious that you've heard this messaging a lot. Usually when a message starts coming out a little more aggressive, like a little more like, listen here. And it's usually because it's like, we've been telling you for so long now, you need to hear this, okay? We need you to actually hear that you're ready, that you got everything you need. You need to build your confidence. You know what? This makes me think of that classic thing where it's like, ready isn't an emotion, it's a decision. And you know what? I kind of agree with that and kind of disagree with that, because I would say sometimes fear is so great that we truly aren't ready. But then there's a point where we do decide that like we will handle the fear as it arises so that we can start. So I don't know. I keep thinking about that for this pile. Like, ready is a decision once you've decided that the level of fear around it is manageable for you. So having no fear, that is maybe when that expression is true, where ready is a decision. But there is a degree of needing to be okay with handling the level of fear coming up. But I think you are there. I think you might just be waiting for the fear to go completely. Look at that. Another card. Okay, you officially got all the cards that say you're a really awesome person. You got a lot of empathy, a lot of self-compassion. You are sincerely a great person in this world. You need to get the things you know out there because it is a gift to the world. You are a light worker who has come to Earth to teach about love. This makes me think about if Brene Brown decided to just keep all her things to herself because she was too scared to be seen. Like, so many people have benefited from her, like, just very direct and easy way to communicate. Like, she just communicates in a way that's very understandable and relatable. And what a shame it would be if most people never got to hear her because she was too scared to put herself out there. And I just wonder, you could be someone like that, where you have so much greatness, you might have an ease of speaking, but you don't think you do, but you probably do. Because people are always going to misunderstand us from the lens of their perspective. And I wonder if sometimes this pile gets worried about being misunderstood, but it's from a point of someone coming from a different background and perspective and perception, and you can't actually change that. That is not a form of communication you can actually change. I mean, you can clarify, but some people just, they're going to come with a little bit of a bias and a little bit more of a closed ear. And I feel like this pile is so open to hearing and explaining that I wonder if sometimes maybe you're like me, where you're like, oh, I miscommunicated, or someone misinterpreted what I was trying to say. And, you know, I don't love that, but I can't change it. And ultimately, the people who are going to hear it one way are going to hear it one way, and the people who don't. And there'll be something of a lesson for that in them too. And a lesson in it for me. We're all just reflections. And neutral statements. It is wild to see how a neutral statement sometimes can create the biggest, I was going to say conflicts for people. Because although I say something neutrally, they've taken it with a strong bias. And I wonder if you worry about that. Anyways, I wonder if you and Pile 1 got some similar vibes going on. Your energy does feel quite different from Pile 1, But I do feel like both piles are like extremely empathic people who are really worried about other people's emotions. So that's the only commonality I'm really seeing, but I'm just going to say that. So if you actually started watching Pile 1 and you're like, this isn't really vibing with me, it might just be because you have like the similar, like super empathetic vibes they did. Yeah, like caring so much can be debilitating sometimes. Okay. Anyways, I'm just going to pull a few like end of the reading direction kind of cards. Like what can you further surrender this month ahead so that you can just have your best month? Denial. So sorry. Okay, I'm not making this up. You might not be able to read that. Denial. This is, okay, usually when I see this card come up, I don't believe in this card, but right now for this pile, I feel like it's just hitting hard because everything here is saying like, you are not seeing yourself clearly. You're in denial of your readiness, of your capacities, your ability, your gift, your wisdom, your like greatness. Like seriously, if you're someone trying to get a raise, like you just need to go after it because you are like, you're ready. Yeah. Anyways, this says accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. So I love that. Also could be a little reminder that, yeah, sometimes like there is some difficulties and things coming up and it doesn't mean it's not for us though. Like, doesn't mean that it's not for us, these opportunities, even if it does bring up some difficulties, whether that's hard emotions or fears or a lot of chaos because it's a change of job. And like chaos can be scary. Okay, what else can we say here? Surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson, every moment. Sorry, I thought I said every month. Yeah, so there is like, I do feel like this pile is like hiding from their own success. Yeah, okay, for sure. I mean, you only take this if this resonates, but I would really wonder if this pile has a really deep fear of being seen, like really deep. Like, I wonder if you're hiding from your own success. You're in denial of your success, denial of your ability to have this success, something like that. I mean, you're gonna have to take it as it resonates because I feel like this must just make sense to you as you are living your life. Okay. We have surrender to spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. Yeah. So I love this. It's like, I kind of just, it comes in such a compliment to like surrender to your soul's path. Like you are definitely gonna be fine. I'm kind of laughing because I can see, I bet you if I were to hear your situation from you, I would feel like it would seem really like unfortunate and scary and uncertain. But then when I read the cards, it's like, dude, like you've got this. Like you're gonna be just fine. I guess human you doesn't know the outcome of your situation and can't like magically see how it's all gonna work out. But it's saying like there is that magic that keeps coming in. I feel like let the magic in should also be the theme of October. If I could redo that audio, it would and be like, let the magic in, because both piles here now, the first and now this one, has talked so much about like, you forgot about that miracle like flavor. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. That miracle thing that happens where we put the work in, we put the intention in, and then we release it. And then those two things, the magic of the universe and the effort we put in, find each other, and it just creates the best outcome sometimes without us really understanding. And I just feel like you're there. This isn't sometimes, this is one of the times for this pile because everything's like, dude, like you got this. Why are you even worrying? Why are you even stressing? Like this is like literally your destiny, which is interesting. That's a pretty bold statement, but it's saying it's your destiny. So whatever this thing is, like you surrender to denial. And look at that, surrender worry. Stop stressing. It's like you were meant to do this. And I think it's just like you're so qualified. That's what I keep getting. Like you're so qualified. Why are you even doubting yourself? Okay. Anyways, I am going to probably leave this pile here. We'll do one more card and then we're going to end this pile. We have surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. I love that. I feel like this is like that time where you connect to yourself and you get clear on your why again, on the passion behind it, on why you want to do all this. Because as soon as we are reconnected to our why, you know, that just changes our whole perception and perspective of everything. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave this pile here. Sorry, I felt like I was yelling at you. I was just speaking intensely. Anyways, I hope you have a really good month ahead. And I hope you start to see and feel the confidence in yourself that you should have, because you have a lot of success backing you. And yes, it's like literally saying you just need to take the action. You need to start taking the action because you're so ready and you got all the skill sets for it. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I'll leave this here and I hope you have a great month and I'll maybe see you another pick a card reading. Okay. You have a good October. Hello, pile threes. So you chose the Smoky Quartz cluster. Just put it over there. And let's see, in your highest good and love and light, pile threes, how can you stay the most balanced, centered, and grounded your month ahead? We have apricot, rejoice and laugh. Well, that's good advice. We have sapphire, regenerate your body. We have brilliance, discover your sparkle. Just gonna move that a little bit. That's a lot of blue. Okay, and last one, amber, awaken your creativity. Okay, so you've got a very third eye and very sacral focused month ahead of you. So just on like the reading of this, just color wise, I would say there's definitely some messages around finding ways to be more like, I would say, I want to say more joyful and creative, but sometimes people are like, what does creative mean? So if you're someone who likes, I don't know, maybe you like doing art, but you're not necessarily an artist. Like maybe you really like photography, or you really enjoy baking or making just beautiful things. Like, you know, like it's so infinite. Maybe like knitting, crocheting, painting, maybe you're into welding, making like birdhouses, you know, or it could even be like decorating rooms a certain way. Like, I just always try to make it not so limiting, because like creativity comes out in anything that you do that you're doing just kind of for joy, and you're creating it. Like, you literally, creativity, I see that as like to create with joy and passion. And where can you do more of that in your October coming up? And I kept thinking when I first saw this apricot, rejoice and laugh, if you're watching this as this video comes out and you're someone who kind of loves Halloween, this might just be like, go all out. What can you do to like decorate your house really cool? How can you make like cool little like haunted house baked goods and creepy things like that? I don't know. Or maybe you like dressing up or coming up with a costume. Maybe you make your own costume every year, or you've always wanted to. It's like, what can you do? How can you like embrace more of the vision of creativity, of creating? Discover your sparkle. So this is really making me think of like, this is stuff that you're actually like good at. So some of you could be really good at decorating. Some of you could be really good at like literally making things with your hands in some ways. And it's like, remember that. Take time to do that. Maybe you want to like I live in Canmore, where everyone likes living in their vehicles. So maybe you've always wanted to build a vehicle. Maybe you want to live in a camper or built out car or something like that. That is actually, I don't know, wherever you're watching this from, to some people, that is not a cool thing. To people who live here, we think that's real cool. Other people are like, yo, you're just homeless. So it's kind of funny. It's all perception, but you could really be into stuff like that. So let's pull some clarifying cards. For rejoice and laugh, we have parents. Okay. Cut your cords and ear chakras. You know what? That is very interesting. So there might be some people here who literally are needing to set some firmer boundaries with their parents. So maybe, I mean, October, I'm trying to think here. In Canada, October, I'm pretty sure has our Thanksgiving. We do. Yes, it is. Okay. In Canada, Thanksgiving is in October. You might not be watching this as it comes out, or you might be, and it could just be holiday season. So I'm pretty sure, I thought it was in November for Thanksgiving in the US. I can't remember, but I think so. I know it's called Black Friday, but I just can't quite remember. Anyways, moral of the story is some of you might need to be literally setting more boundaries with family members. Yeah. Who might be stressing you out, who I would say maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of getting that vibe that like maybe there's like some people here where there's just like people in your life this time of year that are like, you don't have time for that. You gotta like focus more on like school, on like work, on like studies, on like, I don't know why I'm getting that. It's so random, so specific. So don't take it if it doesn't make sense to you. But yeah, I just feel like just trusting that like if you have kind of like a bit of a naggy parent, I think that's like, that sounds really harsh because I wouldn't say that to their faces that they're naggy, but I feel like that's how you're perceiving them, is like they're always on your tail, you know, they're always kind of like, hey, like, did you get that done? Did you do that? Are you sure you have time for that? You shouldn't be spending so much time doing that. You spend more time doing this. Like, I just keep hearing that. So if there's someone in your life, doesn't have to be parents, it's just understanding that they are coming from a place of trying to show they care about you, but it is not being received as love. It's being received as like a bit of frustration and added kind of like annoyance, I would say. And when I feel like there's someone in your life like that, whether that is a friend, a teacher, a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a partner, it's like hearing them for what they're actually trying to intend. They're trying to take care of you. They're trying to, I don't know, foresee challenges for you ahead, but it's not actually serving you. And I would just say when I see ear chakras and cut your cords, it's like, take the love and leave the rest. So just take that, the fact that, oh, they're trying to show that they care about me by like overstressing, overdoing all these things. I can take the love and I'm going to leave the rest because it's just not serving me to actually take on their stress, their anxieties, they're sort of like, they're kind of like the opposite of having fun vibe, which there is a time and place for responsibility. So I'm like not trying to make them wrong. I just feel like you're like, yo, life is about living a little bit and it's okay to like spend some time doing things that you like. And if these people are trying to be like, that isn't what life is. Life isn't that easy. It isn't about having fun. It's about working more. And I don't know. I just feel like I kind of feels like a parent's rant about like stuff like that. So anyways, moral of the story is take the love, leave the rest, cut your cords, clear your ear chakras, which is essentially like the tape recorders of everything you've ever heard or has been said to you or you've said to yourself, and just clearing those out after interacting with those people and knowing that it's okay for you to love your life a little bit and have a little more fun. And maybe that's because they don't feel like they're capable of doing that. Doesn't mean that you can't. And sorry, I just accidentally threw a card on the floor. So anyways, let's clarify, regenerate your body. Shield yourself. Yeah. So for sure, this pile has somebody in their life. I don't know who it is, but this feels close. Like sometimes it's like a collective energy that can be draining on people, but I do feel like this is giving me the vibe of someone closer to you. Like I said, could be a parent, a family member, a stressed out brother or sister. There's someone in your personal life that I feel like kind of frets is like the word I want to use, is they fret a lot, which is interesting. You don't ever use that word, but it's like just making sure that you are not taking on their stress. I do wonder if the energy I'm picking up on is more of someone who is a young adult, who may be in university or may just be in a year off or just finished university. I kind of get the vibe of like a young adult and like it's their parents or someone who puts themselves in a parental role towards them. Like I said though, only because like the energy there is kind of like that parent who's like, you got to take your life more seriously. You got to like, it's like, okay, I get it. But I actually can't just study 24/7 and work 24/7 and not get burnt out. So thank you for the love, for the worry, but it's actually just not realistic to live like that. That's kind of how I'm feeling. Or the vibe I'm picking up on. So brilliance, discover your sparkle. We have books and third eye chakra. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, or editing, or selling spiritual-based books. So yes, I really feel like this month ahead is like actually about being less stressed. So yeah, whatever that looks like for you, you might actually love reading a book at night or love going to like a park and reading a book there. You might actually just really be into researching for some reason. I want to say that researching, or you might actually be going to school to edit, market, or something like that. I feel like there's just like a lot of reading in your future for whatever reason. It could also be if you are in university, I'm sure there's a lot of reading to happen there. But I do just feel like it's like, hey, find the thing that brings you joy. I also feel like this pile, like if they're into like fiction books, like it's like get a little more lost in the fiction and like fun fantasy or something like that. Something that's a little more like there's no reason to read it other than for joy. But also with the fact is this discover your sparkle, like I feel like that it is finding like your joy again, but I also feel like there is something here where it's like this. So you have a third eye chakra colored card and you literally got the third eye chakra. So I wonder if you're someone, if you are resonating with this, like being a younger person trying to find like where you're going to go, what direction to go in life. I wonder if you are, through just being more creative, experiencing a little more joy and a little less stress, going to find what lights you up in the direction you are wanting to go. Like maybe you've been like, okay, I'm in school, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to major in or what I'm going to do with this degree when I'm done. And I feel like they're saying like when you allow yourself to have a little more joy and to like, it's like have a little more downtime, but the downtime feels like you're doing fun things. So it's not just like sitting around. It's like getting lost in a story, or like I said, doing something creative, like painting, art, crafting, discovering something. It's going to help you find your passion. And I wonder if this pile has felt a bit lost. So it feels hopeful actually, like in finding the joy, you find your purpose or your direction, something like that. Okay, Amber, awaken your creativity. Law of attraction. Ooh, that's a good card. And look at that. Fairies. Fairies represent to play and passion and fun things. So yeah, there's definitely a lot coming up for if you had a job this upcoming month. It is to find and rediscover your creative joy. So it could even be that like maybe you've been going to school or you've been working for a while and you've lost the love of whatever job you're doing or the passion for it. And it's like awakening creativity. Find the joy again. Find the joy in it. You have a strong bond with the fairies and your life purpose involves helping Mother Earth. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. So law of attraction, yeah. I would almost wonder if this is even speaking a little bit to that, like, yeah, if you lost a little bit of interest or joy for something, it's saying like it's changing. But if you come back to like finding out what brings you joy, what is bringing that passion and excitement, you're going to find your way back. You're going to find a new way to work in that joy, that angle of joy. And I think that's been your intention. Something like that for this pile. Like, I feel like your intention is to find that love again for what you're doing, or that spark again for what you're doing, so that it is something you're looking forward to in your day-to-day. Yeah, it's really interesting. Okay, any other guidance for this pile for the month ahead? Ooh, okay, so this card has come up for a lot of the piles today. Mediumship, I mean, if that's just like a confirmation for you in your own life, go ahead. But this is a pretty old card deck. And I always see this as actually communication with self, because mediumship is communication. And this person is like feeling into their heart and asking themselves, what do I want right now? Where do I want to go? Where am I feeling called to be? Like it's just getting out of the mind and into the heart. Like, where is my joy? Where is my passion guiding me? And like communicating with that more on a regular basis to kind of end up where you need to end up or something like that. Emotional sensitivity. Honor and respect your deep sensitivities as it is a gift to us all. So once again, something about like finding out more about hearing where you need to go. Yeah, being able to listen to what's going on within yourself. What is taking away from your joy? And I feel like it just could be needing a slight change of perspective, a rekindling of joy, or of like that fire, that passion for what you're doing. Okay, anything else to summarize? Throat chakra, another communication cards. The angels are helping you lovingly speak your truth. This could even be with that boundary setting with the parents or whoever they are. You don't want to say their parents. It could be, like I said, just someone who kind of fits that like role, that dynamic. Could be like a boss, coworker who's a little up in your business. So it says, you are a powerful light worker. It is safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings you great blessings and loving service to the divine. I also feel like this card came up in every pile as well. So there's definitely some themes around just not being afraid to be vulnerable yourself, to be seen, to be like just also honest with what you're putting out there in the world. So I feel like a lot of messaging that came up in the other piles was like making sure that you are not changing yourself or doing anything that takes away from who you really are or how you really are to kind of fit into the mold of the job you're in or the marketing, that social marketing that people are putting the pressure on to be or something like that. It's like, it's okay for you to show up just as you are, as uniquely as that is. And it's actually a beautiful thing. It's okay to be seen. It's okay to be powerful is also the other message that comes up with that card. Like it's okay to be strong in yourself and make decisions for yourself because you know your vision. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to leave this here. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of guidance on what to expect. More or less, joy. Finding that joy, finding that passion again, and working. So it's like sacral chakra focused and third eye focused for this file. Finding your brilliance, finding your spark, regenerating your body, and doing that through reawakening the joy and the creativity. This pile does feel very artsy though. I do feel very artsy vibes. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Hopefully you have a good month ahead and maybe I'll catch you around in another card reading.